Hi everyone, it's me Liz with 143 Handmade, and we are here today to start joining our blocks. Well, I'm going to show you my joining method for how I join my blocks into rows on my Crazy S quilt. So the first step is I just butt them up against each other just flat and run a zigzag stitch, a big zigzag stitch over them. See, so they're not overlapping. They're not, and the zigzag stitch kind of runs a little wild, and that's okay. It's all going to be covered up. So this is just to help it hold together while you are getting the strips in place. This is just kind of an anchoring, and I feel like it adds a little bit of stability, underneath your strips. And then what I do is I go in and I add strips over the top, and there's so many different methods for adding the strips, and I like to play with several on most rows. This one I did pretty consistent. Yep, those are actually all the same, aren't they? But it's where you lay the strip down. I'm grabbing one out. I'm not sure you can quite see that. Okay, so how I do a lot of these joins or laying the strip on, is I just lay the strip right next to where the seam is, right next to where those blocks come together. And then I will just sew like normal with just a straight stitch all the way down the seam, or all the way down the strip. Okay, and then I'm getting a little kooky. Rearrange things. Okay, here we go. And there's some people out there have videos and stuff that do not do the first step of joining them. They simply add all of their strips to the blocks and then just join using the strip, and that's a perfectly good method too. This is just I like doing that extra step. So but it is something that is optional. So, but I've sewn it down just like you normally would, right sides together. And then there's several different things you can do here. First of all, you want to roll it over, and you want to lay it nice and flat. And I just finger press, hand press. That's all. I don't take it to the iron. And see, from here, if you want to do the raw edge, all you have to do is just run your stitch along here and leaving this raw edge to get nice and frayed. Or because I don't want to actually cover up that much of this block, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to fold it over. And how much you fold it over is, totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and fold it over at the line that it has in the pattern, just because that will make it easy for me, as I'm finger pressing it as I'm going. And then right here, a lot of times I will switch over to one of my, million decorative stitches that I have on this machine, and top stitch with that. But not always. Sometimes I will just do a simple straight stitch. Sometimes I'll mix it up and I'll do part of it with the decorative stitch, part of it with the straight stitch. Look at the decorative stitch, like now, where it's just taking a little too long, a little too impatient. So I will switch back over here to the straight stitch, and it looks great. It looks just fine. You might be worried about changing stitches in mid-row. I think it does depend on which decorative stitch you are using and which stitch you go to, because it doesn't always look great to go straight from a decorative stitch to like a zigzag. But I've never had a problem going from a decorative stitch to the straight stitch. So that's my lady lovely lashes waiting for me, wanting me to throw her mousey again. My cat plays fetch better than most dogs do. It's pretty awesome. But only on her terms though. But yeah, so that's how I will do that join. Yeah, I see you. And so, let's see, let me grab another one that I've already done, so I can show you some examples of the other. Yeah, see, this one I just did raw edge because it was such a narrow strip that it was enough to cover, but not if I wanted it, not with the seam allowances. That would have made it too narrow. So I just put it on here and then did because I have white thread in, did that nice bold zigzag stitch on top. And I just thought that looked really cool. And that will fray out as it gets washed. That'll fray out and get soft. And then on this one I did the same thing. This is just laid on top. It will fray out as well, and I just used different decorative stitches. This one I did like I showed you. This one's also done like that. So, you know, just add your strips on top, your decorative stitches, your decorative strips to cover up all of that joining. And how bulky you make it is totally up to you. I do like to use some of these strips of the Minky, which is just like a super high pile, you know, like plush, super soft. I use bits of it, you know, in all of my crazy quilts because I have bits of it, and it's so expensive that like I use every single little bit of it when I do buy it. So let's see, I think it's just about wraps up. I think that actually covers how I join my blocks together. And so next time we will talk about backing and how I join my rows together. So thank you so much for joining me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate every minute we spend together, and don't forget to learn something new every day.